I was streaming the other night, my community started saying that art is liberal and gay. In streaming, I've cultivated an audience that shares little to no interest with me besides UFC and all the dude activities that are popular in media.
The Twitch streamer Sneako says his audience thinks art is gay. All right, I think everyone's pretty familiar with Sneako at this point. He's kind of made him a name for himself with the red pill movement. I remember he was like basically mimicking their talking points about how well, you guys already know what the red pill believes, but yeah, apparently Sneako wants to move away from red pill content and political content, and he's worried that his audience is gonna think it's gay. So let's go ahead and cue the clip.
I think the ultimate challenge for my 20s is going to be shifting away from social media and all the politics that I've got myself involved in to be able to make what I really want to make. I think we've yet to see an artist come directly out of the social media world, and I want to be the one to do it. When I was streaming the other night, my community started saying that art is liberal and gay. In streaming, I've cultivated an audience that shares little to no interest with me besides UFC and all the dude activities that are popular in media. Most of the people that watch my streams only like movies like The Joker, Fight Club, The Matrix. I spend so much time in.
All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that it's probably not a good idea to bad talk your audience. I understand you're trying to gain a new audience, but you can gain a new audience without dissing the old audience. And yeah, I'm gonna say do people? I don't know. He. All right, how should I say this? To his first point, he said that there's no social media person that's made it as an artist. Well, what about Logan Paul? What about Jake Paul? Weren't they rappers? I'm trying to think who else has made it as an artist. Has any influencer jumped ship, or is Sneako right? I think he might actually be right, because nobody takes Logan Paul serious as a rapper.
Galleries and museums because nothing else instantly gives me so much inspiration. As I get older, I come to realize that there's really nothing more uninteresting than talking about than money, business. Many men are afraid to discuss anything else or step foot in a place like this because art is supposed to expose and highlight our vulnerabilities.
All right, so I'm gonna say that Sneako lives in a completely different world than I do, because the guys I know, we talk about art all the time. We talk about music, movies. What is he talking about? Yes, we like to talk about business and money and all that, but we also like to talk about art. And I mean, this whole channel is based around entertainment news. So reporting on different artists. So I don't know. I think Sneako basically created an audience of red pillars, and now he's like, oh, all you guys want to do is talk about women and money and business and crypto. But that's literally you grew that audience by only talking about that. So of course that's all they want to hear. It'd be like a hip hop artist making hip hop music and growing a fan base, and then trying to become a country artist, and then wondering why people aren't feeling the country music. People didn't come for you for country music. Now that might be a bad example because Beyonce just released a country album last year and it's been doing pretty well. So maybe that's a bad example.
I love streaming, but part of the reason I hate it is because you end up becoming a jukebox for people who want to hear the same talking points over and over again. Especially when your audience is 98% male. They want to hear discussions about women and self-improvement, so that listening to you feels like they're progressing, but most of them never apply any of it. They just like hearing the greatest hits. Sometimes streaming now feels like being a 7-year-old rock star who's playing hits from the 80s. I'm beginning to understand why bands like Radiohead refuse to play their most famous songs like Creep. I'm a widow. Yeah, maybe in 1993, but it's time to grow up. Why do you think Ronaldo's not married to?
All right, so he does have a point about that. I do know a lot of artists, I guess artists from the last generations that, especially artists that are one-hit wonders, they don't like to perform that one hit because they they think they're bigger than that one hit, so they don't need to perform that one hit to get by. But I don't want to name any names, but I do know some artists like that. All right, so this clip right here. So here's the thing. Sneako's like, oh, I don't understand why I have this audience of men who just want to talk about, you know, getting women and business and money. And this right here clip is an example of what Sneako normally talks about. And like, man, you made your own bed. Of course, this is all these guys want to hear. This is all you talk about, or this is all you were talking about. Like, this is a perfect example.
His girl. Why do you think McGregor's not married to his girl? Why do you think like most guys, multi-millionaire, like early billionaire status, they either pretend to be married and say they're engaged forever, or they have 7 girlfriends that they put on birth control, they get tested regularly, and have safe sex with? Because when it comes to liabilities, women are the biggest business liability ever. Nothing can destroy your empire quicker than one chick. More than a shitty employee, more than a natural disaster, a woman can crumble an empire. When you get to that level, like, are you gonna risk it all and get married to one girl who could just up and leave? Or have 7 girlfriends?
So that clip right there is a perfect example of the content Sneako makes. So like, of course he's gonna have a mostly male audience that like thinks art is gay, because look what he's talking about. Like, he's been talking, like he said, he's been talking about the same stuff for 7 years. Like, I don't know, like there is some truth to some of the red pill stuff, but like it's gotten so overboard that like now it actually, I don't know, it seems like they hate women. I'm not saying they all do, and I don't think Sneako does, but like it's just like even that clip right there talking about like, oh, a woman can ruin your entire life. Like, I don't want to live in fear, man. Like, I don't want to watch content that's just going to constantly try to scare me. It basically tries to scare people from not making a move. So if you're watching that and you're thinking, oh, a woman can ruin your life, you're most likely never going to try to talk to or approach a woman, because in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh, well, even if it goes well, she can ruin my life. So you're going to take less chances in the world. Like, it almost does the complete opposite of what the movement is supposed to do, which is help men, you know, with their self-esteem and talking to women. And it's like, it's doing the opposite. It's scaring them from talking to women. But anyways, I got off on a rant. So this clip right here, this is Sneako meeting a female fan, and I guess he's surprised because he doesn't think he has any female fans.
Goodbye.
Oh, yeah.
I saw you, so I was just curious, like...
Oh, what do you think about all this?
I think it's very interesting. Well, good for you.
Oh.
Good for you having an opinion that might not always be the popular one. It's hard to find our people.
Yeah. It's New York. You got a lot of these liberals that don't really know anything about anything.
Anyway.
All right, and that's the clip. Well, let's go ahead and see what the chat is saying. All right, Twitch chat is empty. YouTube chat is empty.
Introducing the Late Night Show with your host, Cuddy Bino. Live streamed on both YouTube and Twitch. Search Cuddy Bino for more information.